Hey guys, first Regardsman here, and so I'll be talking about a Deathwatch Stalker Bullet Rifle build for the Sniper class in Space Marine 2 Patch 14. Now, the Deathwatch Stalker Bullet Rifle is the new Heroic Stalker Bullet Rifle, and the gun portion of this is actually okay. They did buff up the headshot multiplier to be equivalent to some of the relic tier options here, like the base ones, but the Heroic perk effect, this thing kinda sucks. It is called Reconnaissance by Fire. It says landing 4 successful body shots in short succession creates a small aspect scan area, and the cooldown is 8 seconds. There are like multiple reasons why this perk is shit. The most obvious one is that body shots on a headshot weapon is totally counterintuitive, and on top of that, you only have a piercing 1 on this, so you are like losing penetration as like compared to every other version for this perk as well, which is super dumb in my opinion. But the biggest problem is that when it says you have to shoot body shots in short succession, what it means is consecutive body shots. So if you miss for any reason in between this, or you shoot a guy in the head, or on the PTS as well, if you had like a shock grenade damage tick go off, it would break the consecutive shots entirely. And on top of that, the Auspex scan bonus here, this is not a true Auspex scan. It is only a 30% damage buff to Majoris, Extremis, and the Minoris, and it's also a 10% buff to the Terminus, whereas the Tactical's Auspex scan will buff your damage up by like 100% in base for Majoris and stuff like that, and like 20 or 30% on the Terminus. So this one is way better. This weapon does not benefit from any Auspex perks at all. It is a completely separate effect, and the effect, it just kind of sucks. So like they really need to buff this one up, and I do have to wonder why the hell they would ever make a body shot perk. But that being said, this gun's actually still pretty fun to use because this is a pretty fun stat spread on the Stalker Bullet Rifle, so I'll be building around that today. So first up, I took the perk here Unwavering Resolve, moving here into the perk Adamant Hunter, Headhunter, into the perk here Cleaving Fire. Then I pick up Headhunter again, increase capacity for more ammo because I do find this weapon can be a little ammo hungry sometimes. And the next perk here is of course Agile Hunter for a 35% headshot damage buff for 10 seconds on a perfect dodge. And the final perks here are Fast Reload and Great Might, or you can pick up Recoupment, but on the Sniper class, you really don't need that because with Purification, you are just so tanky and have so much survivability already, it doesn't really matter at all. Now, for the secondary weapon, this weapon did get buffed this patch. This is the Honorific Volunteer Heroic Bolt Pistol, and now has equivalent gun strike damage to the Firepower Heavy Bolt Pistol, which puts it as like a top 2 option for gun strike damage in the entire game. Guys, this weapon is amazing right now. This might be my favorite secondary bolt option in the entire game, and the fact that gun strike damage is so strong, the fact the burst damage here can very easily trigger perks over here like Pattern of Excellence, that is so strong for Sniper that I pretty much always pick this up now. Now for the perk tree, I take Perpetual Precision first, into the perk here Headhunter, Gunstrike Reload, increase capacity, Headhunter again, Elite Hunter here as well, into the perk Headhunter, Extended Magazine, and of course Divine Might for a 10% buff, because these are the overall best in my opinion. Though if you do build for things like Retaliation, you can get conditionally higher damage overall, but this is better damage in base, and that's pretty much all there is for the secondary. Now for the melee weapon, I do take an Argent Edge. The Argent Edge is just the best weapon on the Sniper class in my opinion, because you really don't have to care about your melee damage on this build like at all. So with the Argent Edge, you just get that perfect parry stagger every time. You get free gun strikes, and free gun strikes means you're hitting them like a truck on the Honorific Relic Tier Bolt Pistol, and also this allows you to build into things like Targeted Shot, which do have a lingering effect for that 75% buff on a Camo Cloak break, which means you can actually get multiple shots off on a rated fire Stalker Bolt Rifle like this one while this 75% buff is active. So pretty good all around for us. Now as far as the perk tree for this goes, I just set it up this way. I mean, the only mandatory perks I would say, it's like Shadow Stab, maybe Shoulder Bash, but Shadow Stab for that single target damage. This comes in handy against Neurothropes and stuff. Like, you do use Shadow Stab quite a bit, and for that reason I pretty much always pick it up on every knife. And also Shoulder Bash, this is just a bit of a nicer lunging attack, because the base lunging attack on this weapon, it just kind of sucks in my opinion, but you know, that's up to you. You can change this if you want. It's just how I set this one up. Now for the main perk tree, I did take the perk here Block Break first. Shots will penetrate enemy block stances, dealing 50% of the usual damage. If I'm not taking like a Power Gladius or a Block Knife, I pretty much always pick this up, because a Melee Mastery, while it's a very strong perk, I'm not really using an Argent Edge for the melee damage, so I just pick this one up instead. Next perk here is High Capacity. The maximum amount of ammo you can carry increases by 10%. This is a nice ammo buff, though if you want to pick up the perk here, Vantage Point instead for a stationary ranged weapon damage increase of 20%, this is also pretty decent, but is up to you. Next perk here is Iron Grip, because it is the only weapon perk in this column that works at all for the Stalker Bolt Rifle, so definitely grab this. And the next perk here is Squad Renewal, a headshot kill restores ability charged by 10% for any team member. This is the best team perk for snipers still. I mean, ability CDR in this game is just kind of nuts, and this is one of the best versions of that. And most importantly on the sniper, this class pretty much always comes down to camo cloak management, so this perk helps you out with that, which kind of makes it the de facto best option. Though if you want more damage, you can take precision targeting or marksmanship up here. Next perk here is Purification. Manually activating Camo Cloak removes negative status effects and restores all of your contested health. This perk is cracked. It has always been cracked since they buffed it up way back when. There was a point in time this perk sucked, but that was long ago, and these days it is a god tier perk, probably a top 5 perk in the entire game in my opinion. Next perk here is Targeted Shot. The first range attack that breaks Camo Cloak deals 75% more damage. This does have a lingering perk effect like I mentioned before. We can get like 5 shots off while the 75% buff is active on the Stalker Bolt Rifle, so definitely worth picking up even on like a single shot weapon like this. Next perk here is Lingering Concealment. After performing an attack that breaks Camo Cloak, you remain hidden for 2 seconds. This is just a god tier perk ever since like patch 12.2 when they buffed up the Camo Cloak cooldown to be a base cooldown of 90 seconds. That basically made it so if you shoot your gun and you have Lingering Concealment, by the time this wears off, you will have your Camo Cloak back every time, which is kind of broken, but for now, that's just the way it is. Final perk here is Pattern of Excellence, performing 3 consecutive headshots for equipment charged by 1. The cooldown is 30 seconds. This perk is god tier as well. I mean, 30-second melt bombs, shock nades, pyroblaster canisters. It really does not matter. I mean, Equipment Space Marine 2 is just that strong that equipment resources like this or equipment regen effects are always going to be a top tier pick. Now, for the prestige perk options, it's pretty standard. We take Emperor's Grace first for invulnerability, Versatile Precision for ammo economy, Indomitable Spirit for no knockback on gun strikes, and the final perk is Conviction for a 25% health damage reduction for 15 seconds on armor break. And that's probably the best setup for this in my opinion. You could skip this perk for exacting focus if you wanted to, but on this build, I think the no knockback for these gun strikes is actually pretty nice. And that's pretty much all I have to say on this one, guys. I think the Deathwatch Stalker Bolt Rifle is a great weapon skin for this game. I'm glad they finally gave us a new cosmetic option. I don't know why they attached it to like an Accolades purchase, but you know, it's just kind of how it is. But you know, jokes aside, hopefully they buff up this perk eventually or fix it or do something to this thing, because at the moment, it's like an okay gun. That's only because the Stalker Bolt Rifle itself is pretty good, and the relic tier variants are definitely stronger at the moment. But that's all I have to say in this one, guys. Hopefully this build guide helped you, and if you like content like this, subscribe for more. If you want to watch me live to ask you questions about the game or just come hang out, you can find me here on YouTube or on Twitch with a link in the video description, and also a link to my community Discord. I also want to say a special thank you to my channel members. Your support helps me make guides like this, and as always, thank you for watching. Take it easy. Bye.
Most efficient. Specialized warrior in action. These are highly effective against individuals. Victim detected and destroyed.
So wait, if it says yes be consecutive headshots, does that mean, or consecutive body shots, does that mean if I get a headshot in between my consecutive body shots, it won't trigger the thing?
Cycling cartridges.
Surely not. Like if I get 3 consecutive body shots and then I headshot him, I think that might actually be how it works. And the PTS even dealing shock nade tick damage breaks the chain. That's pretty awful. the sniper's OP, and Sir Cindy was doing the Adeptus Astartes. Welcome, welcome.
Destroy the lictor beast. Rearming wargear. Fresh ammunition acquired. Refreshing armaments.
I mean, the gun portion of this is pretty good, but it just kind of feels like you're using a rate of fire Stalker with like a shitty effect. That's how I would put it.
Locus established. I have eyes on the guard camp. No sentries posted.
Even brothers, we joined patch 14 so far. I picked up the Salamander's Power Sword today, slapping Xenos with it for the Emperor. Fuck yeah, dude.
Captain
Pretty fun.
No signs of
Pretty
life
fun
in the
patch.
Astra Militarum camp. Human life, anyway. Talassa, you need to acquire the Astra Militarum demolition codes required to deploy and arm their ordnance. Source one from any soldier you see, alive or otherwise. Formidable Tyranid organism terminated. Reloading. Munitions replenished. Nothing spotted. Let us hope
I regret buying the range weapons over the melee this time around. They need like some damage buffs, I think. That's the biggest stuff. They're not like god awful. Like Combi Flamer is fine. They're fine. It's an okay gun. I don't think any of them are better than their Relic Troop counterparts though. Which is a shame. They look cool though. But you can just
demolition
put
codes.
them on the normal ones.
Captain, codes retrieved.
A lot of people hate the Melta. Yeah, I saw that. I'm like, Melta's probably the best one.
The demolition preparations.
No, I like that thing since the PTS. I always thought Melta's not that strong though, outside of like attack and Vanguard for ammo economy, I guess. But the damage to Melta's has never been all that epic.
Rendered unseen. Most efficient. Utilizing material. Tyranid gun fist expunged. Cycling cartridges. Fresh ammunition acquired.
I think the Melton attack only, if I'm honest. I predominantly like the Melton attack anyways.
Waiting on you. Obstacle removed. Shock grenade deployed. Chameleon line engaged. Tyranid leader beast applying overwhelming force. Inserting fresh magazines. Tactical preeminence.
Oh, we finally have a
Light refraction engaged.
Wow, did so much for us. For all the extra damage we did, guys.
Reloading. Escalated counteraction. They shall not see me. Monster Xenos eradicated. Tyranid on my mark. Replenish specialized war gear in action. Light the Xenos falter in the face of our firepower. Tactical preeminence.
Not a very good weapon. It's not a very good heroic effect. The Stalker bolt rifle's fine, but
Hope it burns all the same. Escalated counteraction.
I don't feel like that Auspex is doing anything for me here, though.
Cycling cartridges. Large Tyranid organism destroyed.
I'll never understand why they type to scan the body shots. It's pretty counterintuitive.
Refreshing armaments.
But some was saying it might be a technical limitation. We should test it against Chaos. Well, I don't even think. Why would you ever want a Stalker bolt rifle against Chaos? I mean, actually, it's okay against Chaos. But this class already fucks up anything with this build, just because Purification is OP. Grass versus Chaos Spawn. I mean, Chaos Spawn's not even like the problem is the Auspex damage buff isn't even like meaningful in this game.
How close are you to the
On this weapon.
facility? We have reached the objective. You are making good time. We are going to need it. Infernus pattern melter charge. Impressive. Use the codes to prime the bomb and finish its deployment into the crude Promethean well. Cautiously. If you know what is good for you. This is a burrowing horror.
It's a terrible concept at heart, it really is.
Shut down their core reinforcements. Chameleon Xenos organism there. Formidable Tyranid organism terminate. Inserting fresh magazine.
The Mick comma died, the Stalker can live for it.
Replenishing ordnance. Fresh ammunition acquired. Time to get to work, machine. Rites of activation have been observed.
I don't think it would shock me, actually.
Machine God's name. Crane sequencing initialized. Delivering payload. Incoming. Generator 2. Instability detected in Generator 2. Operator requested. Escalating counteraction. The Tyranid onslaught. Cycling cartridges. X-axis aligned. Omniscience will. Does that mean it is close to finished? I think not. Stun grenade out. Generator 4 has their attention. doors cowling. Climbing is not permitted while in operation.
Right. Cool, cool.
Mine axis aligned. Margin of error 0.0 nanometers. Blessed be the oldest science divine precision. I should have this thing calibrate my scopes. Large tyrannid organism destroyed. Specialized wargear in action.
They've got like 4 Ospec scans this entire match.
Demolition deployment sequence concluded. No errors logged. Science functional obvious. Come on, thank the Emperor. It is done. There is an observation platform overlooking the Crick fields. It will make a good vantage for your ambush. Munitions replenished. Ready to advance. Rearming wargear.
I guess it's good theoretically proc vital data. No, it's not a real Ospec scan.
Throwing shock grenade.
Separate effect. I look at all of this 0 form accounts we got with that.
Replenishing ordnance. Formidable tyrannid organism terminated.
I like the new boss in operation mode. He's great.
Scanner suggests a cloaked Xenos is near.
Okay.
Target the living artillery. Cycling cartridges. Light refraction engaged. Utilizing material. Attention, small mines detected. Lictor class tyranny vanquished. They shall not see me. Inserting fresh magazines. Escalating counteraction. Xenos biovol removed. Cycling cartridges. Chameleon line cloak activated. Tyrannid leader beast applying overwhelming force. Ravenel on the field, brothers.
That was super cool.
Concussive grenade deployed. Tactical preeminence. Rearming wargear. We have a Carnifex in our pursuit. Rendered unseen. Most efficient. Specialized wargear in action. Reloading. Chameleon line engaged. Tactical preeminence. Light refraction engaged. Monstrous Xenos eradicated. Fresh magazines. Applying overwhelming force.
You finally died.
Psychotherapy.
Or you do.
Prioritize headshots.
I'm actually some lock here.
Melee line cloak activated.
Oh, you're the old one. Okay.
Stamina eradicated. Action. Psychic organism purged. Shall not see. Stun grenade out. Utilizing materia. Rendered unseen. Most efficient. Rise warrior in action. Reload. Xenosorganic matter rots under our proteins. Formidable Tyranid organism terminated.
Like, we still get an Osphix scan the entire time. You think on the card effects you would, but no.
Cycling cartridges.
I mean, maybe I'm just like conditioned to not try to shoot for the body when I don't have headshot. That's all it is. Like, that's just a huge waste of ammo to do so.
Run distraction efforts as long as you can. There is one thing I know, Lieutenant. It is how to pin down an enemy. I will hold you to that. If I tried. Not that it would make a dent.
How do you even feel about this thing? Not sure.
Rearming walking. We are in position and have eyes on the target, Captain. Dig in. We need that bomb triggered for optimal yield. Orbital scan estimates the bulk of the swarm will not be in position for a while yet. Keep your heads and get it done. They're on to us. Time to start picking them off. Light refraction engaged. Inserting fresh magazines. Throwing shock grenade. Tactical green evidence. The bulk of the swarm is continuing along the protected path. Continue holding. Applying overwhelming force. Monstrous xenos eradicated. Rearming wargear. Replenishing ordnance. Prepare for Tyranid onslaught. We are surrounded. Turn about. Large Tyranid organism destroyed. Subconnected mode. Inserting fresh magazines. Halfway there, brothers. Keep it up. Eminence. Scoping more swarms moving on us. Tyranid leader is destroyed.
God, it's not just being quiet. I mean, playing my game, dude.
Slightly cartridges.
Just playing the game.
The swarm has almost fully committed. Be ready for my mark. Light refraction engaged. Escalator counteraction. Rearming walking. Xenos Alpha Beast eradicated. Rendered unsealed. Most efficient. Specialized warfare in action.
Fun.
They shall not see me. Utilizing material. Rendered unsealed. Most efficient. Cycling cartridges. Specialized warfare in action.
The Argent Edge is so not amazing at this.
Light engaged. You are clear to detonate. Cook those rotten bastards. We will stop their advance cold. Well, halt. Inserting fresh magazines.
There we go. So the gun portion of this is just like a fast-firing Stalker bolt rifle, but that heroic perk effect sucks.
What a sight.
Absolutely sucks.
Tyranid biocides down 90% and falling. Swarm annihilation confirmed. Excellent work. Move to extract. Extraction complete.
It was on the auto bolt rifle. I moved up a few tiers. A few tiers, not really. You okay?